Despite how well the first 2 episodes of this mini-series did, I didn't think I'd be sat here doing a part 3, like I said in the last episode. But as it stands, there is still no Season 2 news, no progression news. That might have changed by the time you're watching this, but as I'm recording this video right now, we've got no news to talk about. So myself and Raphael, you probably know him off the channel, he's one of the moderators, we basically sat down and started joking how we could do a part 3 to potential DLC seasons, and we came up with some ideas, somehow. Some of these are absolutely crazy, and some of these I could potentially see happening. If you don't like speculation videos, definitely click off now, as none of this is confirmed, but let's get into it. Okay, so for DLC Season 22, I can't believe we've speculated about this many now, but that is right, we are on to 22. We've got a campaign DLC, the first one to be precise. I'm surprised I didn't cover these in the last 2 videos, but the planet is going to be Vardos, with the maps being the Archive, Kestro, and Landing Bay 2. And the heroes could be Shriv for the Rebels and Gideon Hask for the Imperials, and then reinforcements we've got Botham Spies and Death Star Troopers. Some of these ideas are just so far-fetched, so I could understand Botham Spies probably not being in there. They weren't in the campaign, but I thought they'd be a fine addition to this DLC. And then Death Star Troopers, we had them as skins in the last game, so maybe they would work as reinforcements on this game. Obviously you'll be able to play as them on the Death Star maps as well that are already in Battlefront 2. Let's get these campaign DLCs over and done with though. We've got campaign DLC 2 now, with the planet being Pilio and the maps being the Emperor's Observatory, the Caves and the Surface. Some very vague names there, but honestly we don't know many location names about Pilio as of yet, and then the heroes could be Del Meeko and Admiral Versio. Admiral Versio is just a crazy choice to be honest, but imagine seeing Admiral Versio coming up with a bunch of battle droids behind him on Kashyyyk, something like that. We've got a Clone Wars DLC Season 4 coming up next, with the planet being Alderaan and the maps being the Alder Royal Palace, the Castle Lands and the Triple Horn Mountains. These could potentially be 2 of the craziest hero picks in the entire video, but we've got a channel favourite here, Bail Organa. We all love Bail Organa on the channel. If you've watched the streams you will know that. And then we've got Poggle the Lesser for the villains, who we also love on the channel as well. Reinforcements could be the Senate Commandos and the Nemoidian Guards, with vehicles being the V-19 Torrent. It's a bit of an interesting DLC this one. We haven't seen much of Alderaan in canon. We obviously know what it looks like. We've seen it a bit, but I'd really like to explore it more in Battlefront with a few maps on offer. I couldn't miss out the sequel trilogy, and we've got a 3rd DLC for this trilogy, with the planet being Starkiller Base. We've already got Starkiller Base in the game, so it wouldn't be that hard to add new maps for it, I don't think. These maps could be the Starkiller Forest, the Snowy Plains, and Snoke's Room, with the heroes being Mars Kanata and Supreme Leader Snoke. Imagine playing as Snoke in that very room where he projects himself in Episode 7, but in the flesh this time. For reinforcements, we could have Resistance pilots and TIE Fighter pilots, and for vehicles, we could have a playable ATM-6. Obviously, we've got them in the game at the moment on the crate map, but they're not playable, so why not have them playable on a Starkiller Base map? Clone Wars DLC Season 5. I know I'm getting very carried away at this point, but we've got the planet being Dathomir, the maps being the Night Sister Fortress, the Night Brother Village, and the Night Brother Arena, with the heroes being Eefkoth and Mother Talzin. A bit of an interesting pick there for the light side hero with Eefkoth. Obviously we've never seen him on Dathomir, but I've pretty much used up every single Jedi now, and we had to have someone who would be a good counter to Mother Talzin. And the reinforcements could be the Clone Flame Troopers and the Night Sisters. I take it if this was to ever happen, which I highly doubt, but if it did, the Night Sisters would be on the side of the Separatists, which isn't always the case in the series itself, but for the game it could work. A Rogue One DLC Season 3. Things get very, very peculiar in this one, I'll just tell you that. We've got the planet being Edu, and the maps being the Imperial Laboratory, the Laboratory Platform, and the High Mountains. And the heroes being Baze Malbus, which makes a lot of sense, and then Ponda Baba. We couldn't find any other villain from Rogue One, and the thing is, if you can have bounty hunters in the game fighting for the Imperial side, why not have Ponda Baba in there? It's not that bad. Reinforcements could be Rebel pilots and TIE Fighter pilots to finish off this very interesting, to say the least, DLC. We've got an original trilogy DLC up next, with the planet being Fondor. We haven't seen much of Fondor, we've only seen the planet itself, but we've not actually been down on the surface, so we don't really know anything about it. So we could have maybe an Imperial Complex map, because I'm guessing there's one down there, but apart from that, we really don't know. EA and DICE could surprise us with this one. Heroes could be Admiral Akbar and General Veers, which I think makes a lot of sense to be honest, with the reinforcements being Mon Calamari soldiers to go with Akbar, and the Shadow Guards which the Emperor could send to assist General Veers. A Star Wars Rebels DLC Season 4 with the planet being Malachor is up next. The maps could be the Sith Temple, the Malachor Surface, and the Malachor Graveyard. Despite never seeing a war between the Rebels and the Imperials on Malachor in Star Wars canon, it'd be nice to get it going here in Battlefront with the heroes being Zeb and Agent Kallus. I know we never saw them on this planet, but does it really matter in a game? And obviously Kallus does turn to the Rebels side, but at this point let's keep him on the Imperials. We're pretty low on reinforcements at this point, which we haven't already used, so we're going to go with the Imperial Shock Troopers. We've got a tiny bit more information about Solo since the last DLC season video, so I've put a Solo DLC season 2 up next. I highly doubt we'll get 2, I think we will get 1 to be honest at some point, but not 2, so we can go one or the other with this. There's a lot of different locations in that Solo trailer, and while I have no specific names at the moment, we could just hope to see anything that we saw in the Solo trailer in the game. Heroes could be L337, which is the new droid from Solo, and Dryden Voss, who is the new villain I believe. With reinforcements being Dryden Voss's warriors potentially, as we see he has quite a lot of warriors standing next to him in the trailer. Our knowledge of Solo is only going to increase over time, so we're going to keep adding on bits to these Solo DLCs as we go along. But to finish off, it just had to be a Clone Wars DLC Season 6 with the planet being Mygeeto. I'm very surprised I haven't included this as a planet yet. I was really struggling to find potential map names for Mygeeto, so we've just got the Mygeeto platforms, the Republic Outpost, and the Separatist headquarters. That's no doubt really inaccurate to be honest if Mygeeto ever did get added to Battlefront 2, which I do highly doubt. I don't think those would be the map names, but that's the best I could come up with. Heroes could be Sassy Tin. I know we didn't see him on Mygeeto, but I've already used Ki-Adi-Mundi, and Sassy Tin is one of the few Jedi I've got left, and then we're going to use Barriss Offee for the villain side because obviously she does turn to the dark side in the Clone Wars series. Seeing those two come up against each other would be really interesting, and the reinforcements to fight alongside those two could be clone pilots and droid pilots, with a vehicle for the Separatists being a dwarf spider droid to conclude the video. But there it is everyone, 10 potential DLC seasons part 3. We've ended this on DLC season 31, that is crazy. Before I end, be sure to go and check out Raphael's channel, who without him this video wouldn't have been possible. He came up with a lot of the ideas today, so check out his channel in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.